In this video, I'm drawing MegaMan.EXE and focusing on improving my overall line quality and proportions. Um, and in regards to the word line quality, I don't think I explained this exactly, but I was saying um, I did vaguely mention that when it comes to line quality, I should not pick up my pen off the paper when I'm drawing a line until like I finish drawing, I guess, to the extent of the line that I would need to finish drawing it, right? What happens is if you pick up the pen, and I'm doing it in pen, so I'm just saying pen, you don't have to do this in pen. Me doing it in pen means I can't erase, so I have to get it correct the first time or get it as correct as possible the first time. Um, and some of these sketches could take hours, so like, that's important. And all the art I've uploaded has been in pen, so this is a challenge I give myself to try and improve faster. And it forced me to pay attention and make sure that I'm doing the thing correctly before I even start. So hopefully this version or this actual sketch of whatever I'm trying to sketch is like the only time I have to do it. Because if I mess up, I might have to restart it with a new piece of paper. So if I don't pick up the pen off the paper, it's going to be a straight line. It's going to look cleaner. If I develop the skill, so it's also a skill. Which means you have to really pay attention. You might want to do drills like, some people could say things like drawing circles or practicing drawing circles or practicing drawing straight lines, and practice not picking up your pencil off the paper. You might need a if your wrist rests on the table or the surface that you're drawing on, like you're drawing on a piece of paper on a table. If your wrist or like the inner side of your palm under your pinky starts resting on the table, might want to pick that up, and then so your entire arm is going into you drawing this line, and that's gonna make it easier for you to draw the line farther. Because if your wrist if your wrist is resting on the surface of the thing you're pressing on to draw, it's kind of like it's serving as an anchor. So there's only so far that you can draw a straight line before you have to pick the pencil or pen up off the paper and move your whole hand over and then draw more. So you have to pick your arm up, and it's kind of like your entire arm is going into what you're drawing. It doesn't have to be exaggerated, but like you should allow for your entire arm to freely engage in it if it has to, just so you can get that straight line as long as you need. Especially when it comes to straight lines or circles, or anything circular. And seeing how, I'm not going to say see how long you can go without picking your pen up off the paper, but the less you do it, it helps. Because if you pick your pen up off the paper more often, even if you've been doing this for years, or you've been getting very good at drawing in general, there's going to be times that you could see that like the pencil or pen was picked up off the paper and it kind of looks like scratchy, which is fine. There's people who can see that and not notice the difference, and you can still have amazing art. But what happens is, if you want to grade yourself on your own art and you're improving for many years, you could see that, if you try to get better at drawing a line straight, to the point where you have, you're more confident in doing it and you're better at it. Or my fault, I shouldn't say drawing the line straight, but being able to draw a line straight or curved, or there's some curvature or it's circular or whatever, and you don't pick up your pen off the paper many times while doing it, you'll see that the line, you're practicing being more accurate, because you have to be very accurate to be able to just draw a straight line as if a ruler was there, or draw whatever line or curve or literally any image you're trying to do without picking your pen or pencil up off the paper. Less you're gonna naturally develop higher skill to be able to do that at drawing overall. Like your overall accuracy is gonna increase. And you're also the actual drawing you're doing right then and there is going to be, it's going to look cleaner. Obviously there's a skill that you have to get better at it, so yeah, time's going to have to be put in to get better at it. You're doing this in pen like me, yeah, you could make a mistake and you could still finish the drawing with a mistake. um because maybe you're drawing a straight line and all of a sudden, like, the line's not straight anymore for some reason, or it starts to curve a little bit and you try to go over that same line again and make it straighter, and now it looks like you have multiple lines where you're trying to fix a line, or just things that you might see appear in my art. So yeah, it's a skill, but you'll get better at drawing sooner for doing it, and your accuracy of you drawing something while looking at a reference or drawing something from your imagination will increase, because you're giving yourself no choice but to, like, get it. Just like I'm trying to draw in pen and get it done correctly the first time I draw it, not picking up your pen off the paper to where it's not trick and scratchy and you're just doing a continuous line properly is an even farther version than doing it in pen. Because instead of me in pen saying, like, oh, I can chicken scratch my way, how about just in pen and do it correct? And every line is perfect, if that's even possible, right? So it's kind of like just giving yourself less chances to even get it correct. But all of that is a skill, and you're just gonna be better at drawing your things better because of that. Because you're becoming more accurate a lot sooner. I started with a rough sketch to block out the pose and make sure everything was placed correctly. Kind of like so I wouldn't maybe do a not even a dark or even a light circle, not even a light circle. I might just, at some point in the image, you might have seen me. There's probably not even a line put down on the paper, but I kind of like made a circular motion with my hand holding the pen, and that was the area that I drew the head within that circular area, whether it was a circle or an oval. And I tried to just keep that in mind. Oh, don't go outside this zone for, when I'm drawing his overall head. Based on how I'm seeing the reference looks like, I want to keep it in that area and maybe try to shape it this way or that way, and then start building out the structure from there. From there, I built up the structure using simple shapes so the body felt more balanced. Once I was happy with the base, I went over it with clean lines to define the armor and details. Like I was saying in prior videos, like darker outer lines and darker lines in between different sections of what I'm drawing. So if it's a character, you can tell that the head is separated from the neck, and that but they're connected. But, like, there might be a darker line in between the head and the chin is dark. There's a dark line showing where the chin is, so that you could tell where the face stops and the neck starts, and shoulder pads and his arm gun um is separated from his chest. Like, everything is its own thing. And then there's, lighter line details in between. Once I was happy with the base, I went over it with cleaner lines. Okay. um After that, I moved into shading to give the drawing more depth and make it feel more three-dimensional. I focus on pushing darker values in the shadows to increase contrast. This ended up being one of my cleaner MegaMan.EXE drawings so far, especially based on the ones I did a few years ago, in the past, the last times I did it. And I can definitely see improvement compared to my earlier sketches. There is still a lot to work on, but progress is progress. Yeah, I also went and shaded this as well. I was thinking of leaving it unshaded, but um there was actually a lot of what I could even call, like, mistake lines. So I was like, let me just shade it in, cover up those mistake lines. Um and this is like areas where I might have missed, didn't estimate a line correctly, or placed something a little bit incorrectly or a line wasn't straight, something like that. So I went over and shaded it.